Hey Diane, how are you today?
Doing well, doing well. How are you?
I'm good. First of all, on behalf of everybody who's watching this, I just want to say thank you for coming on and just being willing to talk about me as a coach, how I was able to help you, the kind of success that you've had, and ultimately just sharing your story with everyone. How's that sound?
Great, awesome. I have no problem doing that.
Why don't you just take off if you want to start at the
Yeah,
beginning, if you want to jump around a little bit, but ultimately just tell your story. We want to hear your successes and your things that you can gloat about.
okay, will
Just tell
do,
us your
will do.
story.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm Diann Monroe Jones, and I'm in the Atlanta metro area. And I started this coaching engagement with Nick around the end of the year in 2023. And on the heels of that, I went back and jumped into it. Got my first arbitrage house in January. Actually, I signed the lease. I just renewed the lease, actually. So it's been a year. And I will tell you, the advice and the counsel and the lessons shared from Nick was so instrumental in getting me started in the right direction and gained so much momentum thereafter. So I have currently um, I all of 2024, I basically focused on the one property, although I own a property that I didn't focus on because it wasn't arbitrage, it was something that I own and it was not in the city where I lived. But the advice in terms of what to do came directly from Coach Nick here in terms of sometimes it took a while for me to actually follow those advices in some cases. For example, being patient, I immediately started to take on reservations that were short term. And little did I know then, but I now have learned that waiting for the right reservations make a world of difference. I now have a guest who's been in the house for or will be 5 months in February,
Nice.
and
Yes.
they do plan to end the lease then. Hopefully things go well for them. And but they've been there. They started out with the notion of being there for like 2 months, and then things went wrong with the contractor. And long story short, they will have been there 5 months on the 9th of February. So
Hmm.
my advice, and the same advice I gotten from Coach Nick months ago, is to just be patient. Set your calendar so that you can get the right clients that's going to really pay you dividends. And
That's
that's what I've
awesome.
done.
Why don't you let everybody know where at in the United States you are?
Yeah, I'm right here in the metro Atlanta area, actually a little town called Lithonia. It's near Stone Mountain.
Yeah, so
And
Georgia.
yeah, and my property is probably about 45 minutes from me. And it's in an area, it's in Marietta, Georgia, and it's near the Air Force Reserve Base.
Hmm.
And I've actually in a proximity that attract quite a few potential guests. So I have to say the location is important, and
Hmm.
that was one piece of advice given to us. And doing the assessment and then the analysis of the property before you actually jump and secure a lease with that property. So that is so important.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hmm.
Let's give us some stories. Like I don't know, so you got some numbers. Like what are you averaging? What are the highest
Oh
months
yeah,
you had? You mentioned you had like a 5 month stay. What else kind of
yeah,
exciting stuff have you
yeah.
experienced so far?
The duration of that 5 month stay has been an average of about $7,200. I've
Oh,
had two, yeah, I know that sounds crazy, but on a gross basis, I had 2 months that was around 85. There were 2 months that was around 72, and then one month was like 65. So it kind of brought the average down. But and the way you would think, well, why isn't it the same every month? But the way it works is, as you know, as an incentive, you give discounts. And so that plays into the variation in the different months. And then
yeah,
also seasonality as you go towards that
100%.
holiday period, which it was the tail end.
Yep.
Obviously, when they jumped in September, it was not a holiday period. But as we got closer to the end of the year, there were some, the holidays. So we changed the rate, not knowing that they would renew or extend the lease, but just because of the fact that we're moving towards a season that could command higher rent.
Hmm.
So that plays into the factor of the rent variation. But bottom line, and then the lease that I pay is $2,400.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
So your
and
business
the
is renting or arbitraging this home from a homeowner for $2,400. And then
yes,
you set it up, you furnish it, you get the utilities in your name, and you're now averaging somewhere between $7,000 and $8,000 gross. So
right,
then your net is subtract that $2,400, then subtract some for utilities, and so your
utilities.
net is huge. That is a
Yeah, about
great.
4K, sometimes 35 to 4K in this scenario, right? So so
I
half
don't
of
know
the
how people
year.
can even do long term when they hear numbers like that.
I
Why would
know.
you do long term and get a couple $100 a month when you can be making a
You know,
couple,
my short
few
terms. Why,
thousand?
why do short term? Yeah.
And have all the headaches or the risk of parties or whatever. Like
Yes.
midterm is, it's just the
But
best of both
me
worlds.
at the beginning, from February, because I got it in January, started beginning of February in terms of lease reservations. But I was so impatient. I started to jump at the 3, 4 days, the 1 week, 2 weeks, and then finally I said, "Hey, this is it," because
Yeah.
initially because I wasn't bringing any income in. My husband and I was doing the cleaning, and it was very taxing on us.
Oh
First of
yeah.
all, 45 minutes away, going up there here every week, I'm like, this is crazy. I'm done. So it was then, and I thought about all of these things were coaching elements that had been shared with us doing
Yep.
sessions with you. And I didn't adhere to them.
Yeah. When we
But
first started, we were doing like what you were describing. We were, Shannon would clean the houses between tenants. I would even take care of the yards sometimes because I had time, running a
right,
midterm rental
exactly.
business, you just have time. And so it's like, well, I can pay somebody, but that cuts into my profits. But since I
Mhm.
have time, I don't care to get some
Exactly.
exercise and get some vitamin D. So,
Yeah,
and then maintenance things I would often do. But now, our business we put out to scale, and we even have assistants over in the Philippines who run things for us and behind the scenes, like anything that can be done virtually, our assistants do. And so now
right. I
our
remember
life
you
is,
saying that.
it's
Anything I
amazing.
don't want to do, I remember that. What do they do?
So,
Anything I don't want to do. I
yes.
always remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
there's
long
lots of
story,
gold nuggets we throw out there in the,
yeah.
in
But I
doing
can
the
say
coaching.
that I reflect back on those nuggets that were shared by you,
Hmm.
and they have really served me well.
I
And
love it.
I just picked up the second one, and we'll be signing the lease this week, and plus renewing the very first one. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Awesome. So you're
so
going into a new year with two properties. Get that one set up. And if you're feeling however you're feeling, just throw in some more.
yeah,
Keep
yeah. And
working
that's
your
the
style
thing.
out.
When I started, I remember saying, even when I went to the live session,
Hmm.
I said, "Oh, I'm going to do five," because I had just come out of workforce, right? And I was
Yep.
like, "I'm going to replace my salary. I'm going to get 5 doors." And I remember you guys saying that you want to maybe estimate 2K per door. And I was
National
like, "Okay,
average. Yeah.
yeah, exactly." But it's been in this scenario that I just shared, it's been way more
3,500 to
than that.
4 grand for one.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's
So
so
it
cool.
depends. So,
I'm so happy for you.
well,
We
thank
often
you.
see
Thank you.
that in
Thank you.
like Florida or California or just more metropolitan areas that are the cost of living is more, so that you're consistently getting that there. I'm just, man, my heart goes out. I'm so excited for you.
Well, thank
I'm
you.
so happy. I'm proud, and this
Mhm.
is what I want everybody who comes in and is coached by me or my team, to experience. This is it. This is it.
Yeah, yeah. And it's doable. Just, I mean, it's great that we have someone like you who's willing to impart that information so that we don't go through, the knocks of hard life,
Hmm.
experiencing things that you've already endured, and can
Yes.
provide advice on how to avoid it as
Yep.
we take that path forward in the
Yeah.
business.
Well, when I
So,
first started coaching, I had all of my experience to pour into everybody, but now I still have that and I'm still running my business. So my
mhm,
experience is continuing to grow. But then
right.
I've now coached over 500 people. And
Awesome. My
so,
goodness.
I've heard all of their situations, things that have
Hmm.
happened. And so if other people have learned lessons that I didn't or haven't yet learned, well, now I get to teach people who come in to our program. those lessons from other people, even though I didn't experience them. There's
Right.
a lot of
Yep.
value in having a coach.
Yes. 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 So
That's
you
awesome.
bring all of those shared experiences to the table, and each person that it affects can pick a nugget out of that
Oh yeah.
information is to benefit them.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Well, let's tie up our time here. Let's end on this. If you had the opportunity to talk to somebody who maybe learned about my program and is kind of on the fence, not sure whether or not they should move forward and get some coaching and then experience what you and so many others, hundreds of others have, what would you say to somebody from your experience?
I would basically say what I've been saying all along. Be patient, follow the advice of someone who's walked the path already because they've done it. Why would you try to duplicate something if you have the opportunity to leverage the experiences
Yeah,
that they've had? Okay, so do that and be patient. Be
yeah,
patient
yeah,
and trust that advice because you've done it already. It's paid off well for you. You know, you can have the numbers to represent that, to illustrate that. So why not just leverage the opportunity when it's being shared with you?
yeah. Great.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Diann. Thank
Oh,
you so
sure.
much.
All right. And
And
thank you for
you
all
know,
that you provided to help
oh,
jumpstart my business because I tell you,
pleasure.
yeah,
It's a pleasure,
yeah,
you know.
thank you.
And let's just continue to stay in touch and just see how you continue to keep growing your business.
Super. Will do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care now.
You too.